It's day 298
of the 29th year and beyond.
Well, Gail and I have watched a couple of episodes of a show titled My Next Guest Needs No Introduction with David Letterman. And David Letterman has this show on Netflix where, obviously, by the title, these are people that are renowned.
Right.
But watch the episode when Kanye West was the guest, and that was
Season 2, episode 1.
it was very enlightening. It gave me a heightened awareness about who this brother is, and he shared some incredible things to give insight about him, his experience, his how he approaches things, his thought patterns, all of that. I just thought it was an interesting opportunity.
Yes, it was. It was very good.
But in this interview, there was two things that Kanye shared, both dealing with power. And one was a nugget that he said he received from his father, where his father helped him to understand you don't have to yell and respond to everything. Power versus force. And his dad telling him, what do you have the power to do something about? Versus forcing something, versus not having to force something that doesn't fit. And so when you think about power versus force, for me it was just like, wow, that is very powerful. What do I have the power to change? What do I have the power to control? What do I have the power at my disposal versus trying to force things that may not fit, that may not ever work?
What do you have the power to produce? What do you have the power to influence versus trying to force? And in a marriage, that's really key.
Absolutely. And interesting, wonderful segue, because the second thing he talked about, again, dealing with power, he said Kanye said a friend of his told him, because Kanye talked about how people want to control you and manipulate you and coerce you and whatnot, and like you're their avatar, they get to control.
Right.
But he said, his friend said to him, your power is your influence. And Kanye responded, my power is my ability not to be influenced. And yet again, I just thought, wow, that is huge. Because taking it back to marriage and love relationships, each person have the ability to have some influence. But each is an individual, so you also should have the ability not to be influenced when it comes to you having to surrender who you are or be less than your authentic self.
That's what we say, because when you stand in your truth, when you stand in who you are versus who people perceive you to be versus who people think you should be, he talks about, people saying he's crazy because of the bipolar and everything, and him standing in the truth, okay. What do you, just truly, one of a very good way to think of life.
But, again, so many times, and we've addressed this before, people are so willing to dictate who you are,
That's right.
how you should behave, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and all those kinds of things. But it's always based on how well that's going to serve them, not how well it serves you. And so when you think about power, the power versus the force.
That's right.
Right? What do we have the power to do? Right? And what don't we have to force?
Yeah.
And then getting back to the influence, right? Your ability not to be influenced, so that you're not like somebody's just,
right.
flunky or
Or puppet.
lapdog or puppet.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you get to maintain the integrity. Now, again, there is influence in a love relationship,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't be at the root of it manipulation or coercion.
It should never be.
Yeah.
It should always be love.
So, when you think about power, at least from these nuggets that I gleaned, I just thought that would be very helpful to understand. We each have power to control certain things, to do certain things in and of ourselves. But forcing things that are not right, that don't fit, it serves no one well.
It does not.
And then your ability to be influenced, but your ability not to be influenced.
Not to be influenced.
I think that's huge.
It is.
So, until tomorrow.
Oh, but first we must say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Gabby.
Happy birthday! And I'm certain that you're having a wonderful time out there in
Yes,
California.
you are. Y'all
with
enjoy
your
your day.
hubby.
Yes.
Enjoy. Love you. And until tomorrow,
Bye.
as the Lord says the same.